Good day, everyone. Welcome to the third day of the Rapid New Gen Town Hall Session 2022. I am Dharmashini from the Indian Cultural Society MMU Malacca, who will be the moderator for the day. Today, we'll be having a well-known person who will be sharing with us his thoughts and experience on the topic of youth and entrepreneurship. Before starting our session, I'd like to introduce Dr. Vinod Shekhar, who is the Chairman and Chief Executive of Petra Group. He is currently the chairman of Shekhar Foundation based in KL and the CEO of Green Rubber. He became the host of the first English talk on television in Malaysia. Thank you, Dr. Vinod, for allocating your precious time despite being not well to share your experiences with all of us tonight. Without further ado, we will proceed with the questions. So my first question is, Dato, could you share your life experiences and journey on how the idea for your business came about?
So my life experiences from how I started. Well, that's a very long question for me to answer. A long answer for that question. I'm actually a biologist by training. I studied molecular biology. I was never meant to be a businessman. I went to college as a scholarship student. My family, we didn't have enough money to pay for my college all the way through. So I had to get, if I was going to go overseas. So I had to get a scholarship. I managed to get a scholarship. Problem is, my scholarship only paid for room and board, tuition. So my place to stay was covered, my food was covered, and my tuition was covered, but not my fun. And I was someone, as a young man, that enjoyed having fun, and having his drinks, and doing, the stuff that we young people used to do when I was young. And the only choice I had in an American university at that time, as a foreigner, is to either work in the college library or the college bookstore, college library or the college cafeteria for minimum wage, which was, wouldn't have paid for 2 beers. And I didn't really want to. So I thought I'd come up with some way of earning some extra money. A friend of mine, another foreign student from India, I found out his father owned a textile factory in Coimbatore. So I went to the college bookstore and I noticed one thing, that they had all these college crests and cups and mugs and sweatshirts, but no nice shirts, just dress shirts, polo shirts with just the crest in the pocket. And I thought that would sell. So I asked my friend whether he could ask his father if I could make some samples. So they came back and says, fine, and 10 samples cost you $50 if you give the design and you give what you want on it. This is the old days. There was no internet at that time. There was internet, but there was no, the internet that we know of today. We had to send it by fax machine. That was the fastest way. So I became a designer. I just took 10 different college logos, from everything from UPenn to Franklin Marshall to Harvard, to wherever, whatever I could get in magazines or wherever, and I make a copy of it and fax it out. And then the design would be very simple: white shirt, blue stripes; white shirt, yellow stripes; white shirt, green stripes; blue shirt, pink shirt. And that was it. There's like a range of 10. And I got my samples, and with that samples, I went to the college bookstores near my university and in my university. And one of them just said, "Oh, this is a very good idea. We'll buy some." And remember, I just wanted to sell a few to make enough money to have my fun during the week. But they said, we'll need 350, 100 of this, 100 of this, 150 of this. I was like, wow, okay, how am I going to do this? And I asked them for 50% down payment. I convinced them that they could do that. They agreed. And my cost was $6 a shirt. Landed, that means they package it and everything else and send it. I sold it to the university for $12, the bookshop, and they sold it for $38.95. And that was my first company, and that grew. I started that company with $50. I used friends in different universities to do the same for me, and I shared a bit of the profit with them. And I kept growing it. I did a deal with the university that I got the sole rights to make dress shirts with the college crest that could be sold in campus. They agreed. So at each university, I got that sole right to do it. And I just grew. And within a year and a half, we were doing nearly 100,000 shirts. because the market was growing big, because every parent wanted it, every new student in a university wanted it. American universities went from 5,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 students. So market was huge, and it worked out. That company I sold 5 years later for $20 million. That was how I started. I mean, that company, and as it grew, made me want to do business more, because I love creating things and seeing things develop, and being in control of what I could do. It gave me that freedom, and so that's when I dropped out of everything I was doing, came back home. My father was very upset. Came back home, and I started my business. I went on to build Malaysia's first commercial internet company, the first optic engine, smallest optic engine for project technology. I invested in a movie with Disney MGM, the first association. I owned an F1, F2000, F3 team, which was a stupid idea. I did a lot of stuff, and grew my business that way. But it all started with that $50 investment in a small shirt company when I was in college.
Thank you, Dato, for the wonderful answer. So my next question is, what was your stepping stone to become an entrepreneur at a very early age?
I just answered that question, didn't I?
Yeah, but I just want to know more about what made you to think that becoming a businessman in a very early age will make you feel a better person in further days.
Okay, there's no such thing as that something made me feel like a better person. You are who you are. You are the person, and how you act is always the way you act. What I found with business, of being an entrepreneur, or having a passion for what I was doing, it gave me the freedom to keep doing the things I wanted to do, to keep experimenting with ideas that I felt could work. Not all of them worked. I failed at quite a few businesses, and failure is not the end. And that's one of the problems a lot of entrepreneurs don't, and generally Malaysians don't understand, or they take too seriously. Failing is what you expect. What you should expect. I have fallen many times, but I have to get up and keep going. Now that's what a true entrepreneur does. You fall, you get up, because there's no choice, and you keep walking. But you use the lessons you've learned for your next project, for your next business, or whatever you do next. And that should be life as well. Whether you're a doctor, whether you're an engineer, whether you're an architect, you've got to understand that you're going to make mistakes. But make the same mistake only once. Because then it's like doing 2 engineering degrees for no reason. One is enough. You want to do another degree, find a different degree to do. Right? I have multiple PhDs in failure. Luckily, it's in different subjects. So I think failure is a lesson that people should expect to do, and hopefully it's small falls, not big ones. But it's nothing to be shy of. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. We all fail. We all fall. But what defines us is how we get up and how we move forward, and what you do and say when you're down, because that's who you are. And I think that's important for anyone, just to be strong, get up and move. And here's the thing. I can promise you, as long as you can keep getting up, if you have the tenacity that every time you fall, you will get up, I guarantee you will succeed. Now, whether it's after the 3rd or 4th or 5th fall, I'm not sure. But I guarantee you will succeed eventually, because that's what it is. You got to have passion for what you believe in. So I would say that there was no first steps into business. I just found, luckily, by an innovative attempt to make some money for just to be a pocket money for college, I found a calling. I found that business, entrepreneurship, was something I was good at. It was something that I was passionate about. And most importantly, I think, to answer your question, it allowed me the freedom to do the kind of things I wanted to do. I founded my foundation right then. We started with 2 children when I first started my company. I was 19. Today, we play a role in over 12, 13,000 people's lives. We play a role in many, many more lives. Actually, during the pandemic and everything else, it's millions that we've impacted. But a small thing like that has grown. And as I said, business and success as business has allowed me to do the kind of things that I really want to do. And that's what I appreciate most about the success I've had.
Okay. Thank you, Dato. So the next question is, as a student, many people out there are neglecting their studies due to their great interest in the business industry. So what is your opinion, Dato? Should students prioritize a business over their studies, or what is your opinion about it, Dato?
Okay, here's the problem. The person who's going into business must first try and answer the one question: why are you doing it? Right? I finished my studies, whatever it is, I finished it. I didn't do my postgraduate. I didn't do any of that. But I think finishing your education when you are given the chance is an incredible tool to have. And tools are very important in success in life. So number one, I would say anyone in university finish, because the experience, the friendships, the understanding, the learning of society and the way you operate in society, these are tools you'll take with you for the rest of your life. And it will really give you a tremendous amount of benefit going down. Not the certificate that you get, but the experiences that you have in that education process. Having said that, there are people that have dropped out because they really need to, they enjoy their business. Then my only question is, why? Why are you trying to be an entrepreneur? My problem is many young people just say, because I want to be rich.
Yeah.
And that will guarantee you failure. If you put money above everything else, you will not succeed. You'll succeed for a short time, then you'll lose it all. Right? And it's just the way it is. Money cannot be a motivating factor. Money is a tool. Money is something that is a tool you need to use. It's an important tool, but that's all it is. It can't be why you do something. It can't direct you to do something. So you've got to have a passion for something first. And if you have a passion for something, whatever that is, whatever that entrepreneurial journey takes you, that there's something you really believe in, and you've got to put your mind to it, and you believe that it's going to work, and you feel you've got to put your heart and soul into it, fine. Then take that chance, by all means. But if it's not, if it's you just sitting there and saying, no, I just want to be a businessman, but I don't know what business yet, then for God's sake, finish your education while you're working it out. Okay? Maybe try smaller little projects. The wonderful thing about the World Wide Web and the tools you have and the internet and everything else that is now available to us, social media and everything else, it's democratized the marketplace. So you can take small chances and see if your idea can grow. But understand, many people can do the same as well. Your competition is very high, very, very heavy. So the most important thing is, are you passionate about what you want to do? You must be passionate. Whether it's a project, is a business that says, I'm going to make cardboard boxes for storage that no one else has seen. It's going to be more, it'll be stronger, it's going to be waterproof, and I can sell it. Be passionate about that. Be passionate about special that box is and why you like it, how it's going to be made. You've got to love what you're doing. And only if you love what you're doing can you actually keep moving forward and eventually succeed. And the second thing is, there is no instant gratification. I know that's a lot coming from me, someone that made money very, very young, very early. And I would say out of sheer luck of going to the right business at the right time and having the opportunity. But I would tell you that I've also fallen and on doing stupid things and suddenly realized I could lose it all. I was a millionaire by 21, a multimillionaire by 24, a dato by 26, and nearly bankrupt by 30 because of the Asian financial crisis. And then suddenly realizing that I'm not as smart as I thought. I was a whiz kid once on the cover of magazines and Forbes and everything else. At the time, Asia Week. I was 27 and 26, and everyone was telling me how wonderful I am. And then suddenly you fall. You realize the mistakes you made. And you realize that, I made certain mistakes about doing projects that I wasn't passionate about. But everyone was telling me I can do it. Everyone was saying, oh, I'm smart enough. Oh, anything I touch would turn to gold. I was a whiz kid. And I went and did stupid projects. And so when the Asian financial crisis hit, everyone collapsed. I had all these companies I couldn't run because I didn't understand them. I couldn't save them. So you had to rethink and reboot, and I moved again. Now I was lucky, right? So by 30, nearly bankrupt. By 38 on the Forbes list. So and 40 something enemy of the state. But at that stage in your life, you see the ups and downs. So I would share that experience with all of you. Is don't be taken in by what people say about you, good or bad. Don't be taken in by the praise. Don't be taken in by the glitter or all that, and don't be taken in by naysayers, people that say you can't do this, you're not good enough. You've got to know that you can do it, and you've got to know that it's something you want to do, and only then will it succeed. Nothing else is important. You've got to believe it, and if you believe it, then it's worth going for.
Thank you, Dato. My next question is, for youngsters today, they are very interested in this small business. Like, they start to set up things in very early age in Shopee, Lazada, and all those online platforms. So during this pandemic, it really helped them to, get their own expenses, to cover up their own expenses, and also for the people who lost their jobs. So, what would be your advice to all these small business owners?
Well, I think they're doing what they have to do. I can't advise them. This pandemic has shaken everything and everyone. It's shown the weaknesses we have in society. It's shown the weaknesses we have in government. We've seen the weakness in leadership, but we've also seen amazing strengths in individuals. We've seen how so many people have been able to stand up and take care of others and come up with projects. And many people that have lost their jobs to find, as you've said, using Lazada, all the social media access and all that to sell little products. And my advice to them is, if they're doing well, carry on and keep building up. But keep pivoting. Keep changing what you're doing, because you can't think that the same thing will work all the time. Someone else will come up with something bigger or better. So you have to be that person that comes up with something better or bigger, smarter, more, something the market wants more. You've got to always constantly grow what you're selling people. You've got to constantly reimagine the market as it goes forward, because it won't stay the same. And then you'll always have competition. But my advice to that is to only those that used it for what they needed, because maybe that's not their passion. They're doing it because they need to do it. How else can they pay their bills? How else can they pay their school tuition fees or cover their expenses in school, in university? And I applaud them for that. But maybe their real passion is to be an engineer. Their real passion is to be an accountant. Their real passion is to be a doctor. So my advice to those people is, keep doing what you have to do, but keep working so that you can finish what your passion is. Finish your degree in engineering or whatever it is that you're passionate about. And for those that find that this business that they're in is what they enjoy and what they love, then grow it. But don't stand still, because no market stands still. So if you're going to grow it, just keep growing it. Keep finding new products. Keep finding new innovations. Keep finding new ways of marketing what you're selling. New ways of enticing customers to whatever you're providing.
Thank you, Dato. My next question is, what was the one quote that you always believed in, and why?
One what?
What was the one quote that you always believed in, and why?
Well, let me say this. The quote that I would say has always stayed with me and will always stay with me is what my father told me. And my father told me that, when I was feeling down and I was feeling beaten up and I didn't know what to do, and I was feeling, I was in a dark place, still not knowing how to keep fighting this fight I was having that I believed in. My father came and told me, good guys win. It takes a bit longer sometimes. It hurts a lot more. But whatever happens, in the end, good guys always win. The question is, can you remain the good guy all the way through? Because through all these challenges, your soul will try to be bought. People will try to change you. Can you remain the good guy? And if you remain the good guy, in the end, you will win. So that has been my mantra through everything I've gone through. To be the person I am. And what is to be the good guy? The good guy is you just do the right thing as best as you can. Always attempt to make the right decision. Always attempt to do what you believe is right. Don't give in to things that you know are wrong. Don't sell your soul. You just keep doing what you believe is right. You won't always do the right thing. You won't always get it right. But that's fine, as long as your attempt is always to do the right thing. And that's not easy to do, especially in Malaysia, especially in the political climate we are in. But it's something I've done, and I just stayed true to that, and it's kept me going. So that would be the quote I would share with everyone. Good guys always win. The end. Just hurts a lot more.
Yeah. So, Dato, what will be your advice for youngsters who are very scared to pursue their dream in business industries?
They should be shitting themselves with scaredness. Of course, they should be scared. It is scary, and if you cannot overcome that fear, don't go into business. Don't be an entrepreneur. To be an entrepreneur is accepted. You're probably going to fail the first time. And even if you succeed the first time, it is likely you might lose everything the second or third time and start again. Now, very few of us are lucky enough to keep succeeding. But failure is always there if you're an entrepreneur, because you don't get things right all the time. We will make mistakes. We will fall, and those are lessons. And we get up, we become stronger. But if you're scared of taking that chance, then you shouldn't take that chance. Then being an entrepreneur is not for you. But if you feel you can take that loss, if you believe that even if you fall, you understand that you can get up and keep doing it, that you have the fortitude, then you can take a chance and be an entrepreneur.
Thank you, Dato. My next question will be, how did you build a successful customer base and your experience in building the customer base? Was it very challenging, or how was the experience?
I run 28 companies. I'm not sure what you mean by customer base. We have everything from hotels to tech companies.
I mean, in whole, in a very
Look, and then like I said right in the beginning, you have to be innovative, because building up your customer base, you're competing with many other, whatever business you're in, right? The customer base is there. Whether you're selling them a cheese, hot dog, or a burger, or you're selling them fruit, or you're selling them a car. You have to look at them, and you decide, how do you out innovate your competition. So going to your customer base is all about being more innovative than your competitor, because you will have a competitor. So I would always recommend, and this being very generic, because as far as I'm concerned, every company has a very specific customer base, and you can only attack a customer base for that specific group in a certain way. So this is very generic, but very generically is innovation, is marketing innovation. If you find cool ways to get your market, if you find innovative ways to go through the demographic that you want, you increase your customer base. Spending is not always the right way. It's not about spending on advertising or spending on I don't know, social media. You need to spend a bit, but I think more than that is to find the very innovative and very cute way of exciting the market about what you have. It's not easy, but that's always worked. One of my products I sold, I literally just did 2 ads, but I made it such awkward, such ads that would really create a shock to the system. that everyone would be very either upset or fun, laugh themselves silly. And it worked because what it did is got everyone talking about the product. Yes, they thought the ad was overboard and they thought that whole thing was not in good taste or whatever it is. They didn't like what I did, the way I did it, but it made everyone talk about it. And then I grew my customer base because then now I focus them on the actual product, not just the ad. So it's hard for me to advise anyone about what customer base how they should market to the customer base, because every customer base is different. But again, if you can be innovative in the way you attack that grouping and outthink your competitor, that would be the best way of doing it.
Thank you, Dato. So, at the age of 19, you opened your own company, right? So then, nowadays the youngsters, they don't really know how to deal with the success, So, how you actually handle the success, and until today, you are actually handling everything. So, how was it? How was it to handle all your success in a very early age?
Well, I mean, you make mistakes, as I told you. You're the biggest mistake you can make when you succeed is to believe your own press, to believe all the talk around you. You're the brightest, you're the smartest, or how incredible you are. You start believing that, you think you're untouchable, and then you get touched. So my advice to anyone that's succeeding early, you guys clearly, is to just be yourself. Never change. The pressure is for you to be somebody else that you think the market wants. And that's, I think, one of the things you must never do. Money must never change you. Again, I go back to money just being a tool. Colored pieces of paper that you use. It shouldn't change who you are. It can buy you a nicer car. It can give you more luxuries in life. But it should never change who you are and how you are with people. You must never think less of a street sweeper than a CEO. You've got to be that person that looks at everyone and everyone has value. And if you can do that, then you'll enjoy your money, you'll enjoy your success, and you'll actually be able to make a difference. Too many people get caught up with their early wealth and think they're the best thing since sliced bread until fresher slices of bread arrive. And you realize, your bread is actually rotting. Right? So I think the cure is to always, or the vaccine, if you like, when you succeed early, is to always be humble and to be the person you are. Enjoy your wealth, share your wealth. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not showing off. You deserve it. If you've earned the money and you can buy your toys, buy your toys. Nothing wrong with that at all. I do. I don't see any reason why anyone else shouldn't. But that should be about you enjoying yourself because you want it, not because you're doing it to show someone else something, not because you want to show people what you have. You do it because you want it, and that's fine. You want a Jaguar, buy a Jaguar. You want a Ferrari, buy a Ferrari because you want it, not because you want to show that person over there, look, I have a Ferrari. That's the thing you got to get out of people's heads, right? That's not what wealth is for. That's not what success is for. And if you can do that, then you'll enjoy your wealth and you'll share more.
Okay. Throughout your entire journey of your business, right? So, what was your most satisfying moment?
The birth of my children. I already was my satisfying moment. There is no singular satisfying moment. That every little success is satisfying. Every good deed is satisfying. When I donated a mobile hospital to the armed forces, that was satisfying. To play that role and to be able to help so many people with that was satisfying. When our foundation was able to go and help people that were struggling to get food on a daily basis, that was satisfying. When one of my businesses succeeded overwhelmingly and now has opened in 6 different countries, that is satisfying. So satisfaction comes in different forms in different ways. But for me, each little thing is satisfying, and that's what I look for. That's how I keep myself going and whole, is to keep looking for the little successes and its impact on the people around me. Because the more good you do, the more you can help people rise with you, the more satisfied you'll be. So our company as a whole works on social capitalism, which is the idea that yes, we want to succeed and rise, but we try to lift people with us as we rise. And so we look for satisfaction in small places and in small increments.
Okay. So we have a question here. So during the Malaysian economic crisis, right, you made a move to focus on your offshore companies, which is Petra, and move turned out to be a great one. What motivated you to do it?
Say that again. I missed that question.
During the Malaysian economic crisis, you made a move to focus your offshore companies, which is Petra, and that move turned out to be a great one. What motivated you to do it?
Actually, the Asian financial crisis is what strengthened my view about globalization. Because originally, yes, we kept most of our companies within Malaysia, but I had invested overseas in small amounts. When the Asian financial crisis hit, all my Malaysian companies were stuck. Any Southeast Asian company was stuck. It didn't matter how successful you were stuck because the whole economy had collapsed. The stock market had collapsed. The currency had collapsed. There was nothing you could do. But what saved the company was my businesses outside and my investments outside, which were US dollar investments. So I was able to use that to come into the country and save the companies I had and move forward. But it also taught me the fact that the opportunity for all of us is global, not just national. We in our country, we fight with each other, Malays, Chinese, Indians, others, over these little scraps that come from this big pie, this huge pie in front of us, and we just fight for the scrap, and that pie is there, and that pie is that world market. We have to stop looking at Malaysia as our marketplace and look at the globe, the world. And I did that when I was 20 something, when I realized that, and that's what made me shift everything from a Malaysian company to what I named Petra, the Petra Group, which became a global company, and it was the right thing to do. But I was fiercely nationalistic. I was fiercely patriotic. So Petra has never been anything but a Malaysian conglomerate to whatever we've done, and I'm proud of that. But it is a global company, and I'm happy with how I did that, because that has protected the companies in Malaysia. The success outside helps the successes inside, and the successes inside grows, and we're able to take it globally easier now because we have a global footprint.
Okay, we have a question here. What's your greatest fear, Dato?
My greatest fear. My greatest fear, honestly, would be disappointing my children. I grew up with a father that was larger than life. I idolized him and looked up to him and for everything. The thing that motivates me most is that I would like my daughters, my children, to feel the same way about me that I felt about my father. So my biggest fear would be that not only do they not feel that way, but they're disappointed in me. That would be my biggest fear. It's not about failing. I failed too many times to fear it. I can fail tomorrow and start again without a problem. Failure has no crush on me at all. But what the people I care about think of me, that matters to me most. And quite frankly, that's what keeps me leveled and anchored.
Okay. How did it feel like to carry out your dad's legacy in the rubber industry?
I didn't. I took over one of my father's technology inventions that he invented with a Russian scientist, and I took that technology and built it up. And it felt good because my father was not a businessman, but he was an incredible scientist, and he had created this incredible technology that is going to save us from the world's number one environmental hazard, which is tires. I'm so proud that I was able to take that technology he created, turn it into what we call green rubber now. That is the only true recycling process for waste rubber that will tires back into tires. So how did it feel? It felt incredible to see it grow. It felt incredible to win awards about this technology and this product that my father came up with. It took a long time. It took me 18 years to get it right. At least another 12 years after my father died to actually get the product in the structure that could work and the technology in its form that could be global. But we did it. We succeeded, and that was amazing. And that I would like to say that my dad's legacy, I hope, is not just the rubber industry. My father saved the Malaysian economy when it was about to collapse in creating SMR, because rubber was 70% of Malaysia's GDP. His legacy in palm oil and rubber, but just in life in general, Malaysia is huge. So I would like to think his legacy is much more than just one product. And I'd like to think all the good work Petra does and everyone around Petra does is part of his legacy as well.
Okay, thank you. What strategy helps you to perform at your best?
Apart from my whiskey and my cigar, I'm not sure what perform. I can tell you, I need my whiskey once in a while, and a cigar to take away the stress, and that makes me perform well. But children, don't do that yet. Get a bit older and then do that. But I think how I perform best is I am very focused on what I have, the result I need. I don't let everything overwhelm me. When you see this, whether it's a problem or whether it's a project, they're all components. So you break it down and you deal with the components. Even with a problem, it might look impossible in its whole, but when you break it down and deal with something here, deal with something there, deal with something there, you make that problem much smaller, and then it becomes much easier to deal with. So my advice, by the way I handle things, is I focus on what can happen, what needs to be done. And if it's a lot that needs to be done, I start doing it in structured format of one item after another item after another item. And that's how I get things done.
Okay, Tato. The next question is, having the knowledge you have now, is there anything you would have done differently when you were first starting out?
No. That's not to say I'm not regretful of some of the things I've done. But I have to look at it as a whole. Because even my mistakes, it's what's got me here. The mistakes I made helped me make the right decisions later, which helped me make more money or do bigger projects or help people more. So no, I am very happy with where I am now. And where I am now is because of all the things that I've done that got me here, good or bad, stupid or smart. So no, I wouldn't change anything because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else and I wouldn't want to be anyone else right now. So everything I did in the past is what's got me here. So I just keep it just the way it looks.
Okay, can you tell us more about your Disney collaboration?
There's no collaboration. I was the first Southeast Asian company that did a Disney movie, a TV series called Tarzan the Epic Adventures. We were the first to ever do that. But I have an affection for Mickey Mouse and Disney products. So I have over 300 Disney and Mickey ties. Disney, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger. But Mickey is my hero. And I'm not ashamed of it. Even at my age, at 50, I guess I'm 53 now. At 53, I'm still wearing my Mickey Mouse ties proudly. And it gives me a sense. Well, I'll tell you why I wore it. I remember when I was 20 or 21, I had my first meeting with a banker in KL, HSBC. It was arranged by a consultant. At my birthday, just earlier, a friend had bought me a Disney tie from Chirac in UK, a shop that and they had Disney ties. So I wore this tie because I thought it was a very nice tie, very subtle Mickey. And I went to the meeting, and this consultant looked at me and said, "How can you wear that?" He was shocked. And he says, "Who's going to take you seriously if you wear a tie like that?" And I remember being very offended and angry that someone would judge me by the tie I wore. And I told myself I will not wear any other tie from now on. And of course, I had to keep then collecting ties. So I kept finding Disney ties and buying Disney ties. In the end, Disney started giving me ties for my birthday. So I have lots of Disney ties now. And Mickey Mouse is my hero. He doesn't change after how many years. Disney, Walt Disney, the man, tried to make everyone happy and made lots of money. I think that's a pretty good way to live your life. Make lots of money and make everyone happy. I mean, I'd like to get to that stage. That's a nice place to be if you can do that. Make lots of money and make everyone happy.
Okay. In your opinion, what was the most important criteria a successful person should possess?
Humility. That's it. The problem with successful people is arrogance, ego. You can't fight ego, but humility. That's what keeps successful people successful. That's what drives them to more success. It's the one thing that a lot of people sometimes find hard to do. But being humble, having that humility, is very, very important.
Okay, so there'll be a last question, Dato. So, what have been your most significant failure, and what did you learn from them?
My most significant failure. Well, I'll tell you. I remember investing in what was then Southeast Asia's largest fruit and vegetable farm. Again, it was at a time I was 26, and everyone was telling me I was the smartest thing since sliced bread, that anything I touched would succeed. So I went and invested in this. And then it was right at the time the Asian financial crisis hit. The whole markets collapsed. This farm needed help, needed ways of moving forward. The people running it suddenly ran away. The partnership that we had, or the management that were Americans, suddenly disappeared. And I was suddenly left with this 8,000 hectare farm that was now in trouble. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't know anything about farming. What the hell do I know about farming? And that lesson was very important to learn. Only go into things that you understand. Only do things that you understand. If you don't understand it, then don't touch it. It's not about being a good investment. But if it's going to be something you do that you're part of, then you have to understand it. So that if everything else fails, if people run away or people are not there, you at least know enough to try and do the best you can to save it. Unlike me, for that business, I knew nothing. I literally knew nothing about farming, about anything like that. And so, yeah, that failure was a very, very important lesson, and it's a lesson I've learned up to now. I never go into something I don't understand fully. I don't have to be an expert at it, but I must understand it. I must understand how it works. I must understand how the business works. I must understand where the market is. I must understand how we make money. And that's, in life in general, is very, very important.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Vinod, for spending your time on sharing with us your experience about the business world. Before we wrap up, do not forget to watch tomorrow's session, which will be regarding youth and politics. Our guest speaker for tomorrow is none other than Malacca MIC Youth Leader, Mr. Bhuvaneshwaran Munusamy. For more updates regarding our town hall session, please do check out our Instagram page, which is ICS MMU MLC, as well as our Facebook page. Have a good day. I'd like to thank all the viewers who attended today's webinar session. Thanks again, Dato Vinod.